Hi, this is Shilpa here. So let me take you to this case where we'll try and understand a particular rubric. Now, this 24-year-old girl, she came to me at a charitable clinic in Mumbai, I think a few years back now, about 10 years back. This girl came for lots of different issues, for recurrent fevers. She also had body ache. She had lots of coughs and colds, and we treated her through different remedies through the years. Now, there was this one particular problem which she had, which was this chronic cracks and fissures on her soles, basically, which was a really stubborn problem. It wasn't moving with any of the remedies we've been giving her, although it helped the other problems. She had these peeling in her toes and soles, and there was this burning and stinging which was quite prominent, and occasional bleeding. And because this girl worked in water all the time, it was really a problem for her. So she used creams and oils and coconut oil. It wasn't really helping, and it was a problem with her work because she used to clean houses and wash. So she was she worked right from the morning until late in the evening, and she was on her feet the whole day in damp bathrooms and hard floors and cleaning and scrubbing. And it was a problem for her because it was a source of livelihood. So we tried to work with ointments and other things, but none of the remedies were really doing much. Now, she came for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes, all that she could find in between her busy schedule. And what I got out of her state was she was really lively. She used to talk quite a bit, but there was this really intense restlessness. She was very busy, on the go. She was sort of quite chirpy, active, and all she spoke was about her work, where she's going next, where she's coming from. And she found it really hard to take a break. And she didn't like times when she was not well and she had to be at home. In fact, she loved doing what she did in a way. Now, she had 2 kids, and there was an anxiety at some level. She was when they came home from school and they were alone, and when she was at work, she was quite scared in the evening to leave them at home. There were other people around who could help, but there was this anxiety and fear. She was quite religious. Now, that is quite a common theme, which I found culturally as well, but that was all I could get from her, basically, from whatever information she provided. Because my main focus then was actually the physical problems and the physical complaints, and that's what she looked for. So we kept on, so this was basically the totality. I used a Kent's repertory then. I used cracks in the feet and burning and stinging, which were quite prominent, these 2 sensations, and aggravation getting feet wet. Now, we've given quite a few of these remedies. I gave her petroleum, just like a stage 1 or 2. I gave her silica, Lyco, pulsatilla from time to time. We gave her Merck. It helped, it didn't help. So that was how we kept on going with her. Now, one day she came with this really intense anxiety because she was religious in some ways and she had missed a ritual. So she used to go on to certain places, temples on certain days, and she had some restrictions in her food on different days. And she was really anxious about one particular thing she missed on a particular day, and now she was really in the state of something is going to go wrong. This particular ritual has been in her family for generations, and now she was absolutely sure that there is some misfortune that's going to happen on herself or her family. She could not sleep the whole night. She thought it was a bad omen. She was restless and tossing, and she came in a state of panic. So I thought that was very interesting, the way she, and this was when I decided to look into two specific rubrics here for her with this mental state. One was fear superstitious and the other was superstitious. Now, we know superstitious is somebody who's inclined to have beliefs which are superstitious, but for me the fears to superstitious is a very interesting rubric where the patient feels if they miss a particular belief, something is going to go wrong, and there is a lot of fear. So this fearful state with the superstition together is found in Rhus Tox. So at that point, Rhus Tox was the only remedy in Kent's repertory for fear superstitious, whereas superstitious as a rubric itself had conium and zincum. Now today there are many more rubrics added to the rubric, which is the broad superstitious rubric, but in fear superstitious there's one more added, and that's conium in the complete repertory. But Rhus Tox is a remedy I've used a lot for this rubric when people believe that they have a particular superstition going on, and if they don't follow that, there's something really intense which is something bad is going to. So there's a fearful state which comes along with those beliefs as well. So, and then I looked into, from the light of this particular rubric, I looked into the whole totality, and I found everything comes together quite well. Her restlessness, her mental and physical, her anxiety at night when she's alone, this constant inclination to keep on working all the time, and this anxiety when she's resting, and the aggravation from the cold, damp weather with the dampness and the being in water all the time, and then her recurrent flus and sore body aches and the coughs. And then suddenly I thought, wow, this is all a Rhus Tox state. And that's when I gave her Rhus Tox 200, and she did really well. There was a dramatic improvement in her feet. For the very first time, the cracks seemed to heal and the bleeding seemed to settle down, and she did really well with that remedy. So I thought that was really interesting for me, especially this particular rubric. Having this fearfulness along with a superstition, so the superstitious state together comes very strongly in this particular remedy. So hope that helps you with this. I've used this remedy in many more cases with that same sort of combination of these two states, and it does work quite well. So hope this helps you, and thank you very much. And if you have any more similar rubrics to share, close rubrics to share, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks. Bye-bye.